In 2025, the angels are lighting the path for us to boldly take action on our dreams. Fully supported, divinely guided, and ready to thrive. Join me as we dive into a comprehensive look into the year ahead, blending tarot, oracles, and channeled messages from the angels to unlock the magic of what's coming in with the new year. I'm Jennifer Halliburton with the Awakened Gen Tarot, and I'm one of the hosts of The Spiritual View. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. The Spiritual View is a collective of 7 spiritually gifted women who use a range of modalities to bring messages of guidance for the collective. We term it as merging our magic. We are building a thriving community, and we invite you to be a part of this. And you can join us by watching our daily videos. And then we also have 2 live sessions that we do on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, where we bring the whole group together for a fun conversation, and then we pull cards for the viewers towards the end. And so it's always a fun time. I invite you to join with us and join the thriving community that we are building through this space. All right, so before we get started, I want us to take 3 deep breaths together to do the invocation to call in the spirit team. So if you'll close your eyes and breathe in. That's 1. Breathe in. That's 2. Breathe in. That's 3. I now call in my angels, archangels, ascended masters, my higher self and guardian angels to please enter this present space and time. I call upon Archangel Michael to place a bubble of protection around us. Only beings of the highest vibration of pure love and light may enter in. So be it. All right, so I am using several different decks today. I'm going to be using the Angel Guide Oracle. Let's see, where's the other? The Angelic Activations Oracle, Wild Reflections Tarot, and Wisdom of the Oracle. All right, so the first card is coming from the Angel Guide Oracle. And so this is the overall energy or the theme of 2025. And so we have the Yes card. And so with the Yes card, that just tells me everything is opening up. It is time for you to take that action. It is time for you to bring in your manifestations. If you felt stuck for a while, this is the energy of things moving forward for you again. So it says, yes, yes, yes. The answer is yes. Proceed, go forth, achieve, enjoy, don't hold back. The time is now. Rise up, fly high, light up, express yourself, experience, and share. This card is a huge thumbs up. If you were making a decision, the answer is yes. Go for it. This is a time for positive celebrations and progress. Angels are encouraging you to let in the light and enjoy it. All of your hard work is paying off. Any endeavors, projects, and opportunities before you now are getting the green light. If you have been holding off on for the right time, that time is now, and you are being encouraged to take the next step. You are good to go. If you're feeling scared or worried, that's okay. Invite in help. Angels are there to guide you, and they want to be a part of your success. So relax and experience the joy that is unfolding for you now. And so, I feel like that, 2024 has just been just a culmination of all of these lessons and karmic clearing. And I do think that before we were able to really get that green light to move ahead, there was still a lot of karma that had to be moved out of the way. There were things that could not move with you into this next phase, this place that you're saying that you're wanting to go, this place that you're wanting to be, this thing that you're saying that you're wanting to, bring in. There were things that were still in your life that had you move to that next step, it would have sabotaged it. It would have damaged it. It would have somehow, you wouldn't have gotten the fullest blessing out of that. And so it just like there were things that still needed to go through cleansing, healing, and transition before you were fully ready. So I feel like that, like I said, 2024 has really been that time of like, we've got to get this last stuff out of the way before we can actually, move forward. And so anything that you were still holding on to was probably ripped from you. Like if you were still like had your grips into it and, just like, just refusing to let go, I guarantee it has been ripped from you by this point in order for you to be able to have this green light of being able to move ahead and move forward. The next card that I pulled was the Angel's Gift, and I pulled this from the Angelic Activations. And so we got the Air Guardian, and it's take time to breathe. Slow down and breathe. Take time to reflect before proceeding further. You are allowing your past experiences to influence your current behaviors, and there is another way forward. You are being reminded to stay high vibration in your actions and choices. Refrain from reacting, for this will only delay your progress and healing. Love is the way. The activation. I breathe with ease, knowing that angels are with me. So you have the protection, you have the guidance, and so you are just reminded to, like when that stress starts to build, just to breathe and recenter yourself and know that you, like, even if the same lessons are coming up again, you learned the lesson, so you know how to respond to it. It's not as scary to you because you've already got the knowledge. So now then, what are you going to do with it when this lesson returns? It's not showing you that, oh, you still have more healing to do. It's showing you the opportunity, how far you've come. And so that's some of the things that, like, if you felt like that you weren't getting ahead, it's because every time those opportunities kept coming back around, you weren't making a different decision. Even if you intellectually understood this is why this is happening, this is what needs to happen, if you didn't actually take the action of doing something different, of showing what you learned, like, you're just going to keep repeating that cycle. But so now then, this time, because I just feel very strongly that, like, the thing that you were not choosing now, just, it got ripped. But you will probably still be given the opportunity to show what you've learned. But I hope that the ripping part has been a strong enough lesson for you to not let it get to that point. Don't let it get to the point where it just literally has to be ripped from you in order for you to be able to move forward. Because it feels a lot worse when it's showing up that way than just for you to make the choice when you make the realization, oh, this is not working. This is not the path that I need. This is not getting me closer to the thing that I said that I want for my life. And so it's easier for you to make that decision, even though that doesn't mean it's easy for you to do it. It's easier than just having it ripped from you. And so I thought it was interesting. The first two cards out really echoed the angel number that I had gotten for this reading. And so the angel number that I got for this reading is 1033. And so with 1033, that is take action to manifest your dreams, and change is coming and you are being supported. So we really are being given the directive now. It's time to take action. You didn't go through all of those lessons for no reason. You learned these lessons for a reason, for you to do something different, for you to, take charge of your own life. Okay, so let's see. Coming back to the next cards. So I pulled this with the Wild Reflection Tarot, and it is where we begin. So the current energy or the mindset of the collective as we go into 2025. And so the mindset as we're going into it is not a great one. We have the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is, there's a lot of stress and anxiety, a lot of fear. And so fear is false evidence appearing real. And so you get to choose how you label everything that is coming at you. All of this evidence that is coming at you, you get to label, you get to choose how you are labeling it. So is it something that's terrible? Is it something that's trying to destroy you? Is it like, so If that's the way you're choosing to view it, that's the way you're going to experience it. Or is it something that's trying to give you information? It's trying to teach you a lesson, or it's trying to give you opportunity to implement the knowledge that you've learned from previous lessons. And so, like, the fear is, there's always something here about maybe not having enough information, or not feeling like that you're going to be prepared to do whatever you need to do. And what's coming to mind right now is a reading that I did recently for someone who, they had a very traumatic life. I mean, just an extremely traumatic life. And yet they were scared to do something that seemed to be very, very simple. And it was just like, I just kind of had to look at them and remind them, like, you were able to withstand all of this other stuff. I absolutely know that if this thing right here goes as bad as you're afraid that it could go, you can actually handle it. I mean, you've proven it. Look at all the things that you've overcome, all the things that you withstood, all of those things that are not happening in this moment, because at the time it's 11:11 on my timer. But all at the time that I was having that conversation, they were not in a place that they needed to be in panic or fear. They were in, a very beautiful environment, just filled with things that they loved. And I had to remind them, like, all of the fear that was holding them back from the thing that they really, really want to do with their life, the thing that they know that they're being called. And that whole reading just kind of kept coming back and showing them, like, no, this is your path. This is what you need to do. But there was this one really scary thing that they had to kind of confront. And that one thing was the thing that was holding them back from all of the happiness, all of the joy. And it was the fear of hurting someone else. The fear of, like, what are they going to think of me if I choose myself? That was just, and I feel like that theme really is like a collective theme, and part of the energy that's going into this new year. And that's part of what we're overcoming, is that fear part that has held us back to this point, the thing that has kept us trapped in these looping cycles of the same lesson repeating over and over, that is not getting us any closer to where it is that we're wanting to be. The next card is the challenges, or the potential obstacles, or the areas of growth. And so we have the 10 of Cups. And so this is why I'm saying I know that this is the message. It's about choosing what makes us happy. And I feel like it feels very selfish to most people, that most of the people that I come in contact with, and I'm sure it's just because it's the same vibration that I emanate, is that you take care of everyone around you. And so it's not comfortable or normal for you to put your needs at any priority at all, but especially above everyone else's. And so I think that's part of the shift, is understanding, like, our happiness, when we're living in our fullest alignment, that's going to radiate this energy out around us too, to where it gives everyone else around us the permission to live in their fullest alignment too. When you know that you're coming from it with the right intentions, you don't need to carry the guilt about the unintended consequences that may be happening around you. Now, you can care about these people, and you can have compassion, and help support them as much as you can, without taking away from yourself any longer, because you've been taking away from yourself to this point. And so it is just, it's getting more comfortable in living in your fullest alignment. And your fullest alignment is going to feel like this. It's going to have this feeling to it. That's how you know you're in alignment, is because this vibration is what's kind of just emanating all around. And so it is just complete fulfillment and joy. And like, that's how you're going to know. You're going to choose the things that make you feel like that. And the more that you get into that energy, again, it's giving the people around you the permission to get into that energy. Because as long as you're staying in these places that you're not supposed to be, looping in these cycles with people that you're not supposed to be continuing to loop with. You were supposed to learn the lesson and move from that. They were supposed to learn a lesson and move from that. You're giving them the opportunity too. Like, so one of you is choosing, I'm learning the lesson. So now if that other person doesn't choose them, they're going to keep learning that lesson, repeating that cycle with other people, but they don't have to keep repeating it with you. You don't have to keep getting hurt by that same cycle. You can choose something different, knowing that it's doing the best for them too, because it's giving them the opportunity to choose something different as well. And so that way you break the cycle. And even if there's a possibility that later in the future, you guys can come into a different type of relationship, a different type of connection, you've broken this cycle so you don't have to continue that thing that was preventing you from feeling the fulfillment and happiness. The next card is the support. It's the guidance or support that is available from the angels, spirit guides in the universe at this time. And so we have the lovers. And so, I mean, you really are being encouraged to choose love. So what does love look like? What is love for you? And so just don't have guilt about what that means for you. I think that we need to get really clear about, what does this look like? What does this mean for me? When I say I'm choosing love, because I mean, I think that a lot of times the people who end up putting other people's needs in front of them, so people pleasers, but it feels unloving. It feels unloving to choose yourself, to choose your happiness over someone else's, when you know that, like, you staying in their connection, you staying in their energy, you continuing to do things the way that they've benefited is what they prefer. It becomes really hard to see you choosing yourself as an act of love. And it's coming back to what I just said. You're also giving them an opportunity, even if they're not ready to see it yet either. Because I mean, I feel confident that if you are feeling unhappy in the connection, there's no way that other person can be happy in the connection while you are actively unhappy in the connection. I just don't feel like that can happen. They can be blind to it. They can say in denial, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to feel it. But it's not because they don't know that it's there. And so I think that you really do have to see that if you aren't bringing your fullest happiness, joyous version of yourself to that connection, it's not being loving either to them, to stay in connection with someone that you're not being fully loving in all the ways, loving to yourself and loving to them, and just being in that full alignment of what really it brings you the fulfillment, the emotional fulfillment. The next card is your opportunities. So the doors that are opening for us in 2025 is the Emperor. So we are being given the opportunity to take action. And so it's coming back to this. Yes. Okay. You finally learned and you finally chose something different. And even if you didn't choose it, you've allowed it, because I feel like, again, there's a big group of us that it got yanked from you. You weren't willing to let it go. Now then, because you've got no other choice, I feel like that, especially if you're part of the ones that it got yanked from you, that's sort of a rock bottom moment again. And so you kind of have to stand back up and you have to take action. And to get out of that space, you have to really stand in your power again. And so that is the opportunity that's being given to us is, yes, now then we get to see, now we get to take life for ourselves. We got to do for ourselves. And so, I mean, I think that it's more focused on us though. And that oftentimes can feel, because this card also has this tinge of narcissism in it. It can feel narcissistic when it's not been normal to you, but it's not trying to, you're not choosing these things to have power or control or do any kind of harm towards others. You're doing this because this is what is in alignment for you. This is what brings you emotional fulfillment. Okay, so the next cards are looking at it through each quarter of the year, and I use the wisdom of the oracle for this. So for the first quarter, what is the theme and guidance for January through March? And so we have building blocks. And so the first part of the year, January through March, we're really just, those are the taking action steps. So we are really working towards our manifestations. We're not just going to sit back and wait anymore. We're going to do what we need to do to build the foundation now, because we've got everything else that's been cleared out of the way. Now then we have what we need to start, really placing the steps and really getting the foundation in place for where it is that we're trying to go. For April through June, we have message in a bottle. So I feel like if you're still a little bit unclear about the direction that you need to go, I do feel like by March through June, that information is going to be very clear for you. That information that you've been waiting on, it's just like, what is the direction? What's the guidance? That information is going to come clear to you in this March through June time frame. Well, it is April through June, but I feel like, and what's coming just to mind right there is that Mars retrograde. I feel like that's the building blocks energy that the first card was kind of talking about, because it gets released there in March, and that's where things do feel like that they're okay. Now it starts flowing, and so I think that's why, like, you're setting your intentions, you're starting to work towards this new thing, but it's not completely clear until we get out of that retrograde energy, and then it's going to start moving forward again. Okay, so for the third quarter, which is July through September, we have blessed. So the blessings and abundance are coming in, and that has actually been something that I've gotten repeatedly. Anytime I start looking into next year, it's like, by the time August gets here, so we could look at that 8-8 portal again, but like really by the time August gets here, things are flowing. The things that you have set into motion in that January time, the building blocks, those things are flowing by the time you get to August. And so this is really great confirmation again of a message that has been very consistent about this next year. And then for the fourth quarter, we have here and now. And so, like I said, this year, we've really been working on collapsing old timelines, working through past karma, all of that. So now then we can be very present. Because, I mean, just think about, like, if you really get to stand into this life that is bringing you into this full emotional fulfillment, and you really are the one that's in control. And I mean, it is a life that you truly love. You're not going to want to escape to the past or the future. You're going to want to be here and now. And so I feel like that by the end of the year, I mean, we are going to be living in that space that we've been working so hard to get to. And so, I mean, I've been saying it in some of my readings this year, is that like we were right at the bottom edge of where it was we're trying to get to. I think we're just fully into it. By the end of next year, we're just fully into that next place that we have been working so hard this year to attain. Okay, so the next cards I'm pulling with the tarot again, it is what we're healing. So this is the shadow or emotional wounds that are being addressed in 2025. And so it's the Page of Pentacles, and it's this fear of new beginnings. It's the fear of not knowing, am I ready for this? And so that's the thing that we're overcoming. It's this okay, what is it? Imposter syndrome. You've been prepared. You have everything that you need. You are starting fresh. You are new. You are a beginner. So that, of course, there's going to be things that you don't know yet. But this should be a more exciting phase for you than a scary phase for you. And it's all about the way that you are choosing to tell yourself, it's coming back to this, false evidence appearing real. So what are you telling yourself about the evidence that you're seeing in front of you? We're going to get more excited about the journey, more excited about, like, this is an opportunity to learn new things and to, do new things. And you only get the opportunity to do that one time. And so, like, enjoy it while it's right here in front of you. How we're evolving, the spiritual or personal growth path for us in 2025 is the Magician. We really are learning how powerful we are, what is in our control, what is not in our control, and we are controlling the things that we can control. We're not just giving our power away. We are like understanding that the most powerful thing that we have is in our choices, in the choices of how we choose to spend our time and who we choose to spend our time with. So you are regaining your power through all of this. What we're manifesting, the tangible outcome and achievements by the year's end. I love that. That's the 10 of Pentacles. We are creating a legacy that is going to live on, through generation after generation after generation. And so, I mean, you are really changing your family's history by the actions that you are setting into place in that first quarter, by those building blocks, by just taking the action at all. You are changing your whole family's legacy, the whole course of where they are headed. So I feel like we have a lot of generational cycle breakers that are a part of our channel. I absolutely know that. And you've been through a lot to get you to this point, and you've learned a lot of lessons. So now it's time to start implementing those lessons to really start having the life that you've deserved the whole time. But for whatever reason, whatever messages, whatever experiences that you needed to get through to learn this, you had to go through that. But now then you've learned it. The angels are saying it's time. You can finally release it and start moving ahead. You can start taking action towards those goals that you've held so close to your heart. So we're going to close it out with the Art of Manifestation Oracle. And so just what can you do to help bring your manifestations in 2025? And we have problems. This card asks you to view any problems as an opportunity rather than a crisis. Whenever we identify a problem, our very recognition and acknowledgement of this difficulty creates an opportunity to seek a potential solution. As long as the problem remains unseen or indeed denied, the doorway to the potential solution remains closed. And so we are viewing our problems through a different light, where the false evidence appearing real. What are we labeling as the evidence? What are we saying is the evidence? And what are we saying it's evidence of? And so we're reframing the problems as opportunities. And so you just look at everything you've been through to this point. They were opportunities for you to learn something. You learned what you didn't want in your life. You learned how to treat people. You learned something. And so now take all of the things that you've learned and start building your amazing life with it. That's why you went through it, so that you would know exactly what to do when these things showed up again, so that you could start teaching other people how to prevent, having to go through some of the things that you went through. They were given to you as opportunities. So what is the opportunity? So you give yourself the space and give yourself the grace. But we're going to be looking at just everything that's happened to this point through a different lens. And now then, what can we do with this to now really create and manifest the life that we're wanting for ourselves? All right. So I'm going to close it out there. It does sound like 2025 is going to be quite amazing. I have felt it. I have felt, I knew that 2024 was going to be transformational. And that's really what I have experienced myself and what I've seen with a lot of other people. And so I feel like that all of that transformation is not going to waste. And in the next 2 years, really, it's going to so you're going to see the shift by the end of next year. But I think that the ease is going to come in through that 2026. So, I mean, there's still building that needs to happen through the next year. So do expect it's not going to be smooth sailing. Nothing about this said smooth sailing. It said things are moving, and you're like that timeline, you're actually getting up higher into it now. And so, I just dream big, and then take those actions. All right. So, I will close it out there. Hope you guys have had an amazing holiday season and a happy new year. And again, check out all of the other videos that we have going on, our daily videos. Come to our lives. There's always a lot of fun. Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And other than that, you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.